In this video, there's a minimum of 75 Bible verses with prophecies and Bible codes that prove a flat geostationary Earth.
And all I need is one to prove them all wrong. Stick around and find out how.
Go nuts on my nuts.
I've grouped most of these verses into groups of 3, so I'm going to be counting down from 25 to 1. It'll make sense to you in a minute. And I've saved the best 2 for last.
Best 2? Oh, no fair, I've only got 1. It doesn't really matter though, because 1's all I need. Okay, so in today's video we're going to be taking a look at why there are so many biblical flat earthers. They all refer back to Genesis and they use that as their evidence for a flat earth. Now, whilst I know that not all flat earthers are Christians, in the same way as I know that not all Christians are flat earthers, there does seem to be a very interesting correlation between the two. And while we're on the subject of Genesis, this is generally what they refer to. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth." And it was so. And God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. The Bible cannot be taken literally because, like every other document, and especially long complex ones, the Bible's words, sentences, paragraphs and books require interpretation due to the nature of the words themselves. And the one thing it seems that all biblical flat earthers choose to ignore is the fact that the Bible is not a science textbook.
So let's start with some easy ones. Number 25, corners.
Hang on a second, I've just realised I haven't even said hello to everyone yet. Hello! Right, now you can start.
Isaiah 11 verse 12, 4 corners of the earth. Revelation 7 verse 1, 4 corners of the earth. Revelation 20 verse 8, the 4 corners of the earth. You can't have corners on a sphere. That's because the earth is not a sphere. It's flat.
Cherry pick much? Now, when most flat earthers talk about the flat earth, they describe it as a flat, stationary disc. Where are the corners on a disc?
Number 24, still earth. 1 Chronicles 16 verse 30, the world also shall be stable, that it be not moved. Psalm 96 verse 10, the world also shall be established, that it shall not be moved. Psalm 93 verse 1, the world also is established, that it cannot be moved. It's all consistent, clear as day. If the world isn't moving, then it's not spinning, and neither is it orbiting around the sun.
But it is, and that's been proven by one of your own.
A 15-degree-per-hour drift.
Thanks, Bob. So how do flat earthers explain night and day, winter and summer, lunar eclipses, solar eclipses? None of those things would work if the earth was flat.
Number 23, pillars. 1 Samuel 2 verse 8, for the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he has set the world upon them. Job 9 verse 6, and the pillars thereof tremble. Psalm 75 verse 3, I bear up the pillars of it. There's nothing about a ball-shaped earth that you can fit pillars into. That's because the earth is not round, the pillars hold up a flat earth, there's a dome on top, the earth is flat.
Well, okay then. So allow me to ask you this question, Mr. Flat Earther. What exactly are those pillars sat upon?
Number 22, the firmament dome. Isaiah 24 verse 18, for the windows of heaven are opened. It's a dome over a flat earth. Isaiah 13 verse 13, therefore I will make the heavens tremble. If the heavens can tremble, then it has to have solidity to it. Genesis 1 verse 6, and God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. It's a dome over a flat earth that separates the waters above the dome. I read this so many times and I didn't see what was going on. I read the word firmament, didn't understand it, but it makes so much sense now when you take it literally. Strong's Concordance defines the word firmament as a solid expanse, roughly like the domed roof on this building here. Here's the inside of that dome, and the stars that we see in the sky would be fixed into this solid firmament, and the whole thing rotates around a flat, stationary earth. That's why all the stars move around the sky together as one set piece, because you can only have a solid dome separating the waters above from the waters and seas below on a flat Earth with the atmosphere in the middle. It doesn't work on a ball-shaped Earth.
But it doesn't need to work on a spherical Earth, because that's not what happens in reality. Bob Nodell proved there's a 15-degree-per-hour drift, and he did say that he was going to try and prove that it was the stars moving around us above. But it's been a while.
Number 21, the firmament dome continued. Isaiah 44, verse 24, I am the Lord who made all things, who alone stretched out the heavens, who spread out the earth by myself. Well, you can't spread something out by rolling it into a ball. Psalms 18, verse 9, he bowed the heavens also. 2 Samuel 22, verse 10 repeats Psalms. It says, he bowed the heavens also. Strong's number H5186 describes the word bowed as bend. The heavens bend around us. It's a domed heaven around a flat earth.
Strong's H5186 is the biblical Hebrew definition of the word bowed. Why would you choose that one, I wonder, rather than the actual dictionary definition, which means curved? Maybe whoever wrote the Bible was talking about the curve of the earth? And we'll be back after this break with number 20, and don't forget, I still have my one ace in the hole, which is a Bible verse that shows why you shouldn't take any of these literally.
Go nuts on my nuts.
Number 20, the sun. There are 67 Bible verses that reference the sun moving. You can easily look this up. Here's a title on one website that lists them all. But zero, zilch, nothing, no Bible verses at all that ever make reference to the earth moving. So, at the very least, the Bible supports a geostationary earth.
But it doesn't, does it? As I said earlier on in this video, the Bible is not a science textbook. Now, the Bible was written thousands of years ago, and when you read the Bible, what you are actually reading is the writer's interpretation of what he knew or could see around him. And we've come a long way in the last few thousand years. There are things we know now that we simply didn't know when the Bible was written.
Number 19, Bible codes. If you're familiar with Bible codes, then you'll know there's a matrix of flat earth clusters from Luke 13 verse 28 to Luke 14. Here's the matrix. Here's flat, earth, and an equidistant letter spacing. You'll also find dome, canopy, tent, truth, edge, disc, even, and a lot more. If you don't have Bible code software, then you can do this for free at biblecodewisdom.com.
Sorry, what was that? biblecodewisdom.com. Let's have a look. Well, what a shock. It's not even a real website.
Number 18, height and depth. Job 11, verse 8. It is as high as heaven. What can you do? Deeper than hell. What can you know? So, there's a height to heaven and a depth to hell. You can't have a height to heaven on a heliocentric, ever-expanding universe model. You can only have a height to heaven on a flat earth that has a dome over the top of it.
I've got nothing.
Number 17, length and width. Job 11, verse 9. The measure thereof is longer than the earth and broader than the sea. It doesn't say longer than the sphere and broader than the curved ocean. You can't have a length and breadth on a ball unless you change the wording of the Bible to accommodate it. You can only have a length and breadth on a flat, level plane.
Oh yeah, we definitely don't want anybody changing the wording of the Bible. I can't think of anything worse. Oh wait, yes I can. Completely misinterpreting everything that's written in the Bible to suit the flat earth narrative.
Number 16, wisdom. Colossians 2 verse 8 says, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world. 1 Timothy 6 verse 20, false science. 1 Corinthians 3 verse 19, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. A ball-shaped world is wisdom to those that live in the world and get their information from TV or the education system. Wisdom of a global earth is literally foolishness with God. True wisdom is not taught in the education system, and neither will you find it on the 6 o'clock news. True wisdom is only found by carefully weighing up the options, and that's what we've been doing on this channel for the last few months, weighing up the evidence. Really try to understand what the Bible is saying here in these 3 verses, because it's telling us that the earth is flat, it's not round.
I'm starting to get a little bit fed up of repeating myself here, but no, it is not. The Bible is a book of stories which are not meant to be taken literally. You cannot learn anything scientifically based from the Bible.
Number 15, day and night. Job 26 verse 10. He has compassed the waters with bounds until the day and night come to an end. That's interesting. Here's a flat earth map. The outer bounds are made of ice. The waters are literally compassed with an ice boundary. The sun goes around the earth like this. Both day and night can only come to an end where day and night meet the dome. Beyond the dome, time ceases to exist. Whoever happens to live in that realm outside the dimension of time, beyond the dome, which is the heaven, is also immortal. He's always been there. He can see the beginning and the end. Prophecies in the Bible, inspired by the Holy Spirit, show us the future is already foretold. And when the Bible talks of the everlasting, that's the place we all go to at some point. Problem is, most of us who reject the truth will face everlasting shame. Like it or not, we're all going to meet our Maker someday. So day and night can't possibly come to an end on a ball earth model. That's because the earth isn't a ball, the earth is flat.
Well, I don't know why I find this so shocking, but what a dishonest piece of crap. Notice the way he had put a black square around his illustration of the flat earth pizza to suit the Four Corners narrative. Well, 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 yet more cherry picking. An eternity of shame? I've got no plans to become a flat earther because I'm just not stupid enough.
Number 14, foundations. Job 38 verse 4. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Declare if you have understanding. As we've just seen, the foundations of the earth are pillars. Isaiah 48 verse 13. My hand also has laid the foundation of the earth, and my right hand has spanned the heavens. When I call unto them, they stand up together. If the heavens stand up at his command, then it's telling us here that the heavens are a dome, it's a solid dome, the earth is flat.
I've read through that multiple times, and I cannot for the life of me fathom why he seems to think that those particular Bible verses demonstrate a flat earth. It doesn't even make any sense.
Number 13, footstool. Isaiah 66 verse 1. The heaven is my throne and the earth is my footstool. Matthew 5 verse 35. He's swearing, nor by earth, for it is his footstool. Acts 7 verse 49. Heaven is my throne and the earth is my footstool. This is what a footstool looks like. It's got 4 pillars. Here's another one. How exactly are you mistaking this for this?
Well, that is a new one to me. The earth is flat because footstools? I hope God washes his feet.
What footstool spins at 1,000 miles an hour?
You serious?
Number 12, desktop globe. Exodus 20 verse 4. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath. Isaiah 42 verse 8. Neither my praise to graven images. It's also the second of the 10 commandments, so that rules out having a spinning globe on your desktop.
Yay, Kent Wind!
Because what's a spinning globe?
Well, it's a model of Earth that we are able to make because we know what Earth looks like. Really looks like, I mean. Because of observations that are made from space, and measurements we can take, experiments we can perform, and thousands of years of scientific research demonstrating to us that it's a globe. I don't see your point.
Number 11, the stars. Matthew 24 verse 29. The stars shall fall from heaven. Mark 13 verse 25. And the stars of heaven shall fall. Revelation 6 verse 13, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth. We've all been brainwashed into thinking the stars are massive and trillions of miles away. The Bible is telling us the stars are not massive, they're small, close, and they're going to fall to the earth. So the universe that we see up there is dome-shaped and small enough to contain all the stars that circle around the flat stationary earth.
Hang on a second, cheeky monkey. Are you trying to use the same argument multiple times in the hope that it'll confuse me? Well, it's not going to. This is like pulling bloody teeth. I'll be back now in a minute.
Go nuts on my nuts.
Okay, welcome back. It's top 10 time. And don't forget, I've still not revealed my one Bible verse which will show why you should never take the Bible literally.
Number 10, the universe. This is the ancient Hebrew view of the universe. We've got the earth on pillars, Sheol down there, and a dome over the flat, geostationary earth, and all the stars and the sun and the moon inside the dome going around the earth. That's why in Genesis 1 verse 14 it says, "Let there be lights in the firmament of heaven," not orbiting a Milky Way galaxy. No, inside the dome, the firmament.
Ancient Hebrew view of the universe, did you say? Well, I would say that the clue is in the name. Ancient, as in a long time ago, before we learned what we know today. And I told you we'd refer to Genesis 1 at some point, didn't I?
Number 9, sun circuit. Psalm 96 verse 10, "The world also shall be established, that it shall not be moved." King James Version. Equally, that verse could support a ball-shaped earth, but it eliminates the possibility of the earth going around the sun. Bear that in mind for a moment. Psalm 19 verse 6, talking about the sun, "His going forth is from the end of heaven, and his circuit until the ends of it, and there is nothing hid from the heat thereof." If the sun has a circuit, then the sun is not the centre of the solar system as we've been told. Critics will say, yes, but the sun is on a circuit. It circles the centre of our Milky Way galaxy. Well, if the earth is established that it cannot be moved, but the sun goes around the Milky Way, then the sun would fly off away from the earth and we'd never see the sun again. So when the Bible talks of the sun having a circuit, it's talking about the sun circuiting around a flat earth.
So many things wrong and so little time. When and by who was it established that the earth does not move? Oh, that's right, the Bible, which, as I said, is not a science book. And I wish flat earthers would fly off into space. Maybe then they wouldn't be flat earthers anymore because they'd be able to see the globe.
Number 8, circle of the earth. So those who loosely read the Bible point to Isaiah 40 verse 22, which says, "It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth." And they use that verse to support a round earth. But there is a difference between a sphere and a circle. Isaiah knew the difference between a ball and a circle because he describes a ball in Isaiah 22 verse 18. So why did Isaiah not use the same word for ball when describing the earth in chapter 40? That's because the earth is not a ball, it's a flat disc shape with a dome on top and pillars underneath.
Well, now it's a flat disc shape with pillars underneath. What exactly has happened to the four corners?
Number 7, grasshoppers. Psalm 33 verse 14, "From the place of his habitation he looks upon the inhabitants of the earth." You can't do that on a 13.8 billion light year across a universe. It's a dome. Isaiah 40 verse 22, "It is he that sits above the circle of the earth, and its inhabitants are like grasshoppers." If you're outside the expanding heliocentric universe, then we wouldn't resemble grasshoppers. The entire galaxy would resemble a speck. It's a dome over a flat earth.
Right, just to make sure I understand exactly what you just said, because God, who there is no evidence for, nobody's ever seen, couldn't see everybody that lives on Earth, if the Earth was a sphere, then the Earth is flat. And flat earthers wonder why people like me make fun of them.
Number 6, deception. Matthew 24 verse 24, "If it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect." 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 3, "Let no man deceive you by any means." Ephesians 5 verse 6, "Let no man deceive you with vain words." So, if you are deceived about the ball-shaped earth, thinking a sphere is the truth, then you've got no chance of ever being able to understand the Bible, yourself barred from all knowledge. If you take the view that the flat earth is a distraction, then what exactly is it distracting you from? What? Celebrity gossip? Or if you believe it doesn't matter if the earth is round or flat, then you're a self-confessed idiot, because it absolutely does matter if the earth is flat or round. You'll never be able to understand the Bible at all if you think the flat, round earth is a distraction or doesn't matter.
And that, kids, is the definition of irony. A flat earther talking about deception while cherry-picking certain verses from the King James Bible that he thinks match up with the flat earth narrative.
Number 5. Tent. If we go back to Isaiah 40 verse 22 and expand on it, if you remember, it says, "It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreads them out as a tent to dwell in." Here's a picture of my tent. I went camping in it a month ago. How exactly are you confusing a tent, a dome-like structure, for an expanding universe 13.8 billion light years across? They don't match up. Again, this verse gives credence to the fact that it's a flat earth with a dome-like structure above.
Well, I, for one, have never confused a tent with the universe. And that's mainly because one is unimaginably big and the other one's a tent.
Number 4. Ends of the earth. Job 37 verse 3, "And his lightning unto the ends of the earth." Daniel 4 verse 11, "And the sight thereof to the end of all the earth." Proverbs 30 verse 4, "Who hath established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? And what is his son's name, if you can tell?" Wow. Wow. Proverbs is Old Testament, and what a prophecy that is. Not only is it predicting Jesus, the Son of God, but also the ends of a flat, level earth. There's no end on a ball-shaped earth. It goes around continuously. You can only come to an end on a flat, level plane.
Wow, indeed. And you know what else never comes to an end? Flat earth arguments. They're always exactly the same, they're always wrong, and they're generally really, really stupid.
Number 3. Lies. Jeremiah 16 verse 19, "The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, Surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit." This is a future prophecy following a monstrous destruction of people who believed lies. But it could just as easily apply now, today. Here we are today showing evidence of the ends of the earth, telling people the earth is flat, and the generation who lived from the 1930s until now got lied to. The generation above us inherited lies, and those who stand for nothing will believe anything. There's no end to the earth on a ball. That's because it's not a ball, it's flat.
Why the hell is he talking about genitals? And what does he mean by coming to the end of the earth? Maybe when I was a younger man, but not now. I'm nearly 50. Sorry.
Number 2. The 4 winds. The Bible is consistent all the way through, from Old to New Testament, that there's 4 winds. For example, Jeremiah 49 verse 36, 4 winds. Daniel 7 verse 2, 4 winds. Matthew 24 verse 31, 4 winds. Revelation 7 verse 1, 4 winds. If you've got understanding, you'll know there's a jet stream that connects North America with Europe. Commercial aircraft try to fly in the jet stream to conserve fuel. Do some diligent research and you'll find there's 4 jet streams, 2 in the north and 2 in the southern hemisphere. So how did the guys who penned the Bible know about these 4 jet streams when they were only discovered in the 1920s, when planes could finally fly high enough to discover them? So we have a dome-shaped earth that requires cross-ventilation. Okay, so here's an example of cross-ventilation. Here's my boiler in there, and you've got to have 2 ventilations, one at the top and one at the bottom. It's not sufficient to just have one, because that wouldn't circulate the air through. You've got to have two for sufficient ventilation. If you want to properly ventilate your roof to prevent dry rot or wet rot, you'll need a minimum of 2 vents, one here and one here. But if you want to ventilate the entire earth, then you'll need inlets of air and outlets. That's why in Revelation 7 verse 1 it says, "I saw 4 angels standing at the 4 corners of the earth, holding back the 4 winds of the earth, so that no wind would blow on the earth or on the sea or on any tree." And the picture you see on screen is a graphical representation of the 4 angels on the 4 corners of the earth. Each of them would feed in a jet stream of air into the dome, a bit like a leaf blower, to cross-ventilate the entire earth. Jet streams wouldn't work on a ball-shaped earth because they'd fizzle out to nothing very quickly. The only way I can visualize a jet stream working is to feed that jet stream somehow into the system by an inlet. It's impossible to replicate a constant fast-flowing column of air on a ball earth without something feeding that air into the system. Scientists will try and make out the case that hot and cold air colliding will cause a jet stream, but I think that's unlikely.
But 4 angels blowing jet streams onto a flat earth is likely. And the statement he just made about jet streams I don't think comes from ignorance, because he said what they were. It's when hot and cold air collide. I think, like everything else he said in the video so far, it all comes from misinterpretation of what he's read in the Bible.
So that brings us to the number 1 reason, and that is mathematics. In Psalm 147 verse 5, it's referring to the Almighty. It says, "His understanding is infinite." And if we get to Genesis 1 verse 1, "In the beginning God created the heaven, singular, and the earth." What you're about to see is approximately 20 seconds of complicated stuff. Just follow along as best you can here for 20 seconds, because this will knock your socks off. In Hebrew, the first sentence of the Bible looks like this. If you take the number of Hebrew letters and times that by the product of the letters, and then divide that by the number of words times the product of the words, you get 3.1416. That's the value of pi to 4 decimal places. Pi is the relationship of a circle's circumference to its diameter, so you measure the circumference of any circle all the way round and divide that by the diameter straight across, and you get 3.14, the value of pi, an infinite string of numbers. Okay, that's the complicated stuff over. What the Bible is describing here is clearly a circle and not a sphere. And only a flat geostationary circular earth fits that description. And if that failed to knock your socks off, then you've not been paying attention. Because what we've got here is the Bible describing the creation of the earth in words, and behind those words we've got a mathematical formula that not only verifies the authenticity of the text, a fingerprint of God if you will, but it describes the very shape of the earth, circular.
Oh no, you do not have a mathematical equation that supports what you believe these Bible verses are telling you. What you have is numerology. Okay, so here we are. And I feel like I may have built this up a little bit too much. But it's a good one, honestly. Judges 9, verses 8 through 10. And I've taken this from the King James Bible, which is the Bible of choice for most flat earthers. "The trees went forth on a time to anoint a king over them. And they said unto the olive tree, Reign thou over us. But the olive tree said unto them, Should I leave my fatness, wherewith by me they honour God and man, and go to be promoted over the trees? And the tree said to the fig tree, Come thou and reign over us." Trees don't talk to each other, or anyone else for that matter. So the Bible's literal. So, the next time a flat earther says that the earth is flat because it literally says it in the Bible, just ask him to produce evidence of talking trees. But don't hold your breath, Because we've been asking them for years to provide evidence of a flat earth and they've not been able to, so why would talking trees be any different? And just so you know, the reason this video is 30 minutes long is because I edited nothing out of what that guy said. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to give the video a like, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, love you, bye.
Alright, watch this next. But before you do, make sure you subscribe. By order of the Creaky Blind.